It's a battle as old as time, or at least as long as the internet's been a thing. Airbus versus Boeing. But which one reigns supreme? Air France fly both the Airbus A350 and Boeing 787. This week I'm on a mission to find out which is the nicest widebody to fly on as I start my journey here in Chicago. Welcome to Chicago, Illinois, and today I'm taking a flight with Air France across to Cairo in Egypt. How you doing? I'd like to check in for Air France, please. There we go, thank you.
Will Paris be the final destination?
No, Cairo, Egypt. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's both boarding passes on one, yeah? Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, you too. Next up was to TSA security, and I went through the pre-check lane, which turns out was a really good idea because being Memorial Day weekend, the regular TSA line here was absolutely massive today. Now that's why we like having TSA pre-check straight through security in a couple of minutes. The queue for non-pre-check looked ridiculous. It was going right out into the departure hall of the terminal, so wow. Straight through though, always good, always good. Right. Let's go and find a lounge. Apparently we're in the Delta Airlines lounge today, the Sky Club, so let's go and see if we can find it.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Okay, you're all set. Welcome.
All right, thank you. All right, so we are flying on Air France today on board their Boeing 787 Dreamliner across to Paris, and then we're connecting on to another cool plane with Air France across to Cairo in Egypt. It's going to be a long flight. Doing it all in their business class. We're going to see what it's like. The Delta Sky Club at O'Hare is brand new and has only been open for a couple of months. It's absolutely massive with loads of sitting areas, loads of food options, 2 fully stocked bars and even a hot dog stand. The bathrooms here are really swanky too, and to top it off, there's great views of the planes outside from pretty much anywhere in the lounge. I didn't have to wait too long for my plane to arrive in from Paris, and it's this Air France Boeing 787-9. So there is my ride over to Paris tonight. This is a 6-year-old Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. I'm actually quite looking forward to getting on board. I've flown Air France a long haul before, but only ever in economy on the A380 and the 777. Never done business class with them, so it's going to be really cool to see what they're like on board. Alright, it's almost time to go and get on board the plane, but here's the coolest thing about this new Delta Sky Club lounge here in Chicago. I haven't got to go back into the terminal at all because I can board the plane right from here in the lounge, so let's head down and get on board. That's right, to get on board the plane from the lounge you just walk through the lounge and directly onto the plane. It's really cool. Hello.
Just stand here.
Thank you.
No worries. Have a nice
Alright, thank you. Sorry, thank you. Hello.
Bonjour monsieur, bienvenue.
Hello.
Alors, it's 7A
Yeah.
indeed. Will be the second seat on the left-hand side.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hello, welcome. 4 of you.
So Air France's Dreamliner then is in this 1-to-1 configuration with pretty standard lie-flat seats that you find in a lot of business class products these days. Alright then, bienvenue on board the Air France Boeing 787 Dreamliner. That boarding, by the way, how flipping cool was that? Straight from the lounge onto the jet bridge and down onto the plane. That's just amazing. I wish more airports would do that. I've had it a couple of times before. It's always really cool because you just sort of leave the comfort of the lounge and get straight on the plane. It's really cool. Anyway, this is a business class on the Air France 787. I don't think this one's got first class on. I don't think they have first class on the 787s. This one's just got 1-to-1 business class across, and the Super Diamond seats like we see on quite a few aircraft that we're sitting in today. It's quite nice, quite comfortable, albeit with Air France's nice little twist with the whole kind of patterning going on there and the Air France swoosh. We've got like a little cubby hole there to store our stuff in, bottle of water, mirror and everything in there. Hello. Remote control for the telly. Controls for the seat just there, and then we've got area for literature just down here. Plenty of leg room. Stretch out with the flatbed later on in the flight, and big TV screen just there that pops out, and there's a little coat hanger bit. There was a coat hanger at the seat, but I don't have a coat because I'm wearing t-shirt and shorts because I've just come from Houston where it's nice and warm. Yeah. But anyway, very nice. The Air France crew, by the way, really friendly. I've mentioned before, I've flown on Air France before. They've always been good in my experience, and no exception, it seems, so far on this flight. The crew came around handing out amenity kits, which we'll look at a little bit later in the video, and pretty soon we were pushing back from the gate and getting on our way out to the runway here at O'Hare. Tonight then took us north out of Chicago to follow the length of Lake Michigan, up over Canada and out over the Labrador Sea before crossing the southern tip of Greenland. From there we crossed the Atlantic down over Ireland and the UK, landing in Paris after a flight time of 7 hours and 29 minutes. Alright then, so airborne from Chicago on board the Air France Dreamliner. Those taxis down in Chicago are just horrendous every time. They take such a convoluted taxi. There must be a reason for it, maintaining the flow of planes going in or out or something. I don't know, but it's always a long taxi there. But hey, never mind. We're airborne. We're heading along Lake Michigan at the minute for our flight. It's going to take us up across Canada, I think, and then over towards Ireland and the UK, dropping down into France. That's this flight. Then I've got another flight onwards from Paris later on board the Airbus A350, so it's going to be interesting to see the difference between the 787 and the A350. I don't know, I've never flown on Air France business class before, so it'll be interesting to see the difference between the Dreamliner and the A350. Certainly so far the Dreamliner is doing really well. I'm loving it, it's very comfortable. They've just come around and asked us if we are still happy with the order that we placed online for our food. They basically emailed a few days ago and said, are we wanting to pre-order our food on this flight? And I said yes, and I've ordered the duck. So they've just come and checked that's all okay, and we're still okay with that, so that's being done at the minute. And also there's going to be a breakfast service before we land down into Paris as well. I'm actually going to try and stay awake on this flight, reason being that I'm going to try and stay on Central Time, at least for the first sort of half of this trip. Alright then, so let's have a little look through the Air France business class amenity kit, see what we've got inside. It's quite a nice bag actually, very sleek, very chic. And what do we have inside? Let's have a look. Earplugs, always good. An eye mask, a very nice eye mask. It's got like fluffy stuff on the back, very comfy. I like that. I like it. A wooden toothbrush. A pair of socks, of course, albeit a little bit cheap and nasty. I mean, look, not brilliant. I don't understand why they put socks in, if I'm honest, in amenity kits. I mean, just look how thin they are. You can literally see through them. They're that thin, they're that nasty and cheap. It's just, okay, I don't get it. Like, everyone's wearing socks anyway. Surely. Why do you need socks on a plane? I don't know. Right, what else? Oh, an Air France pen. Little Air France pen there. Toothpaste. Let's go with my wooden toothbrush. Moisturising cream. Beauty Flash Balm. And that's it. All gone. Yeah, not gonna lie. Not the best amenity kit I've had. I mean, the eye mask's alright. It's not branded or anything, and the toothbrush just... for an airline toothbrush, surprisingly not too bad, but other than that, it's a bit basic. Pretty soon it was time for the cabin crew to come around serving dinner. Alright then, dinner time. Very well presented food. This looks amazing. Look at this. It's probably one of the best business class meals I've ever had. Oh, thank you. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. It's very nice indeed. Look at this. Nice bit of meat. Parma ham, is it, from France? It's a bit like Parma ham. Very nice. With some French wine as well. Très bien, très bien. Alright, the main course has arrived. I've gone for the duck. Me duck. Whatever I can do it without spilling my wine. It's really nice. Really nice. I am very impressed. Fantastic food. And of course, but what else to have for dessert when you head into France? Macarons. Very nice.
It's time for the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Alright then, time for the Air France Lou Review on the 787. And it's a bit weird, there's only one toilet for business class, which is right up here at the front. There isn't one between business and premium economy. The next sort of loo back is between premium and economy, like way back. So it's not great. There's not a lot of loo capacity for the business class cabin. That's the only thing I would have to say, but it's quite nice anyway. Right up here by the flight deck. Very clean, modern as you'd expect from a Dreamliner. We've got some nice toiletries here. What we got? Oh, dynamisant. And a few bits and bobs dotted around here. Double mirrors, of course, which you find sometimes on the Dreamliners as well.
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
So I was considering trying to get some rest tonight, but I've actually decided the trip that I'm just leaving on, it's about a 10-day trip, and for the first 5 days or so, most of my flights coincide with daytime on Texas time, Central Daylight Time back in the States. So I think for the first few days I'm going to stick on Texas time, which means that for this flight, although it's technically an overnight, it doesn't get in until 1 a.m. Central Time when we land in Paris. So what I'm going to do is work this evening, get a bit of work done. We'll land at 1 a.m. then I'll sleep through the day in Paris, hopefully, and then get my next flight sort of tomorrow night, tonight, whatever time it is, Paris time. I'm confused already, even thinking about it, but basically I'm going to try and get some sleep when I get into Paris and stay. It's so cool. We are sort of halfway between Greenland and Ireland at the minute. The sun has not set yet fully. That's as dark as it gets. This time of year, middle of summer, it's amazing flying overnight through the northern latitudes because it just never gets dark, which is great. Like if you, like me, want to stay awake. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Alright, so as the sun is starting to rise over Ireland, where we're about to kind of cross in a minute, thought I'd just show you through the in-flight entertainment system on the Air France Dreamliner, and it's quite nice. I've just been watching some TV, just been watching an Amy Winehouse concert on there, which is quite nice, but they've got loads of other stuff as well. Let's have a look through some of the movies. Or TV rather, because I hit the wrong button. It's like a few episodes of Friends and things like that on there. Let's have a look through the English. Loads of different languages as well, by the way, too. That's what I've just watched. Very good. And yeah, quite a few bits and bobs. Not the most well-designed system, I'd have to say. It's a bit difficult to sort of see what there is. It's just sort of all there. You know what I mean? It's like just dumped on the screen. There's not really any sort of organisation to it, but hey. There we go. That's where we are. Over the ocean. But not the most responsive. There we go. That's where we are. Sort of approaching Ireland. That's my view. The sun's just starting to rise out the window. Anyway, yeah, not too bad, really. Alright, so time for breakfast. Albeit, on my time it's like midnight, so it's kind of a late night snack before I go to bed when I arrive in Paris. But I guess on local time, it's first thing in the morning, because we're just about to fly over the UK. We've just left Ireland, and we're about to fly over Wales. Cut down across towards London, I think. It's cloudy and rainy, we can't really see much of the UK down there. But anyway, it's breakfast time or midnight snack time, and I've gone for the omelette. And they've given me some granola and some yoghurt and a cup of tea as well, because I don't want coffee because I'm about to go to bed. Yes, it was quite nice. Let's try it. You know what? It ain't often you get an omelette on a plane that's actually cheesy and stringy and moist and nice. And I look very bright, don't I, with the sun right in my face. It's not very often you get an omelette that's done quite as well as that. Alright, then we've just flown over London, got a bit of a hazy view of Heathrow and Gatwick, but we've just started our descent now down into Paris, Charles de Gaulle. Welcome to Paris. Time to go and find somewhere to sleep for a few hours before my connection tonight, local time, but obviously in the morning, my time. So it's quite fortunate, I think, that the hotel that I'm staying in is in the same concourse we've just arrived in, Concourse L. So I haven't got to do any mucking about getting on trains and things. Oh, and there it is, straight off the plane into the hotel. I like that. Alright then, here we are in the hotel at Paris. I do like these hotel places. I stay in them quite a bit, if I'm honest. There's one in Istanbul I use quite a lot, and there's one in Singapore, Changi, that I use quite a bit. They're really handy. There's no like windows or anything. It's effectively like a little cabin thing that you're staying in. But the fact that there's no windows is a good thing when you're on a connection like this, because local time it's like 8 in the morning and my flight leaves tonight at like 10 o'clock or something like that. My time that I'm staying on is Central Time in America, which is 7 hours behind. So right now it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and my flight leaves at like mid-morning, lunchtime, Central Time. So on my body clock, it's bedtime, and it doesn't matter that it's a beautiful sunny day outside, because I've got my little room here, and it could be any time outside, really. So I'm gonna have a few hours here, get a bit of rest, and then we move on to the next flight with Air France this afternoon / tomorrow morning / whatever flipping time it is.
8 hours later.
Alright, good morning, or good evening, whatever the heck time of day it is. Whatever time of day it is, it's time to go and get our ride on the Air France Airbus A350. Alright, so my next flight is from the K-gates here at Charles de Gaulle. This is the, I think this is the L gates that we're in a minute. So we're heading to the K-gates, which means we've got to get a little train, I think, across to the concourse. Yeah, lounge, yeah? Yeah. welcome to the Air France lounge here in 2E in Paris. Not the best lounge, I have to say. It's very busy, very cramped. I'm sure there must be more to it than this. I've seen some pictures of amazing Air France lounges here in Paris, so maybe there's a different one, but I don't know. I've got my breakfast. I've gone for pretty much all they've got this breakfast at this time of day. It's sort of 6 o'clock at night, so I've gone for just a bit of ham and some eggs and cheese and stuff, and a cup of coffee to wake me up. One thing that really annoys me when you come to lounges or when you fly business class and stuff is, like, if you want a glass of water, you end up getting like a little piddly little glass like that. If you're anything like me, when you're travelling, you just want an absolute ton of water. I'll be drinking litres of the stuff every day to try and stay hydrated, which is more important than ever when you're flying, surely. And yet they give you these tiny little glasses of water that you sort of have to chug down and then fill it up, and you're never going to get the same level of hydration either. So I still always end up going into a shop and buying myself bottles of water. But it turned out at Charles de Gaulle Airport that was a task easier said than done. This airport is so weird. If you want to pick up Cartier or Chanel or Louis Vuitton or Gucci, then you're fine. You can pick anything up like that. Bulgari, Tiffany, loads of stuff like that. Brilliant. If you want a bottle of water, you're screwed because there's not a newsagent in sight. Eventually, after traipsing through the airport for about 20 minutes, I found a little newsagent and they had bottles of water. Alright, and there she is. Doesn't she look amazing? The Air France A350. Honestly, the A350 is quite possibly my favourite plane. People ask me all the time, what's my favourite plane to fly on? A350. Just beautiful, beautiful aircraft. And Air France's livery, although it's simple, and it's all kind of Euro white as we used to call it back in the day, it still looks really nice on the A350, I think. I don't know, let me know, what's your favourite A350 livery? Let me know down in those comments. That's the one we're getting on today, over to Cairo. It's about a 5-6 hour flight or so. And it wasn't long before it was time to get on board.
Merci, voici Monsieur Noel.
Hello, bonjour. A380.
The windows are.
Thank you. Now, Air France's Airbus A350 is in a slightly different configuration to the Dreamliner. It's in a 1-2-1 config with these staggered seats on the sides, which I think is really cool. Now, welcome aboard the Air France A350. Slightly different configuration in business class to the 787. This has got kind of staggered seating, and you know I like my staggered seating in business class if ever I get to do it. So you've got sort of these ones, like this is the ACs, which is sort of got the privacy bit there. But then there's some others that, as you move forward, the next one along is on the aisle with the kind of desk bit at the window, and vice versa. It's quite nice. Lovely big TV screen here. Look at the size of this. Look, and it's all touchscreen. Very different system to the Dreamliner. We're trying that in a little while. Nice big storage compartment here. So you've got an amenity kit and everything in there. We'll go through all of that. That's massive. Remote control and everything for the telly. Plug socket, USB. There's also USB down here as well. And these cool controls here. Look at these. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I do like this. Oh, and perhaps the coolest feature of the A350. Isn't that amazing? I've only ever seen these sorts of blinds on Qatar Airways A350, and I think they removed them. They were on when they first had them. You just press the button and feels like you're on a private jet. It's amazing, isn't it? I do like them. I've only ever seen them, like I say, on the Qatar Airways ones. When they first had them, they had them fitted, but I think they removed them and put traditional plastic slidey blinds on. Not the same. Not the same. Just make it feel very, very exclusive. It's like being on a private jet. Love it.
En cas de dépressurisation tonique doit être conservation. Il vous invitons à
My next flight tonight then took me southeast out of Paris, crossing Switzerland, Italy and down across Greece and the Mediterranean Sea towards Egypt. Flight time tonight 3 hours and 47 minutes, cruising at 39,000 feet. Rightio then, airborne from Paris on the A350. What an amazing plane this is. That takeoff was just beautiful. And we've got a tail camera as well, which is pretty nice. Always love it when airlines do this as well. It wasn't on the Dreamliner. Not to mention, I don't think I've ever seen a Dreamliner with it on. A350s often have it, and it's, you know, Air France have obviously paid for that to be fitted to this plane as well. It's very nice indeed. Always cool to see from an Av Geek's perspective, at least. We are a little bit late. We've got delayed at the gate because, rather worryingly, they wanted to check how much fuel had been put in the wings. They had to do a check and figure out whether or not they'd put the right amount of fuel in or something. Hopefully, the fact that they've checked it is good and means we're good to go for the flight over to Cairo. About 4.5, 5 hours or so, I don't know. But it's a beautiful sunset out the window at least, with a great view over that A350 Wing too. One other cool thing I didn't mention earlier in the seat, there is this thing here, by the way, a sliding panel. Mind you, it doesn't come all the way across, but it does give you a great degree of privacy. I mean, look at that. Nobody can see it pretty much unless they're walking past your seat. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Very nice indeed. I do like this plane. Actually, in my opinion, I'd say this is superior in terms of the business class seat to the 787 that I flew across the Atlantic on. Just me, I don't know. Let me know what you think, which one you prefer, the 787 or the A350. But I mean, in terms of planes, I mean, I've never made any secret of the fact that the A350 is quite possibly my favourite plane. It is just an incredible, incredible aircraft. Love it. But then after takeoff, snacks and drinks have come around. I've gone for a glass of champagne, as you've got to when you're on a fringe airline. But these things are amazing, by the way. They're like little cheesy nibble things, but it's like it's almost like a scampi fry, but it's filled with cheese. It's really nice. It's not fishy. It's proper nice. Look, it's like one of them. It's like a little crisp thing, but with like soft cheese inside. Proper nice. France have just gone up massively in my estimation, because look, alongside the amazing cheesy snacks that you get, they've brought round these mushy peas. Well, I think it's mushy peas. She said it was something in French, but I'm going to assume it's mushy peas, and it tastes like mushy peas. Oh, amazing. Airlines that serve mushy peas, just amazing. And only improved if they were in like a little polystyrene cup with mint sauce on them, but hey, we'll give them that. The French, they're not exactly known for their sort of haute cuisine and stuff, are they? Alright then, time to look through the in-flight entertainment system on the Air France A350. It's a different system to the 787, and I think it's much nicer. Let me show you. You've got this massive screen for a start. You've got different options, cinema, TV, movies and stuff. This is more like it. This is more well organised than the Dreamliner was. Look at all this. Loads of different choices in movies there. TV, let's see if we've got Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory. No, we don't. We have Arnaud Ducret et ses amis au grand. We've got that. But there's not really much. Look, series is maybe How I Met Your Mother. That's on here. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That seems to be everywhere at the moment as well. But no Young Sheldon. And no Big Bang Theory. We've got Big Shot instead, which is different, I think. Anyway, that's that. We've got all sorts of other stuff on here. The coolest thing about this, they've got cameras. They've got a tail view camera, which is that one. And then you can flick it through and have the view from the nose as well, which is just behind the nose gear. That's quite nice.
It's time for the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Alright, it's the part of the flight you've been waiting for. The A350 Lou Review. Is any better than the Dreamliner? Well, we're going to have a look, and actually, Not really, it's about the same, although we do have them nice cool lights. It's very flashy in it, I'm very sorry about that. Airbus use a different frequency for their lights to Boeing, and it never seems to come out well on camera, no matter what I have the frame rate set to on here. Never works, so unfortunately Airbus planes always do this. But we've got the those sorts of lights around there. We've still got the dual little mirror thing going on there, and then we've got like a white bathroom suite. That's pretty much it. That's looking a bit grubby there, isn't it? In terms of bathrooms, I mean, I would say they're about the same, but this one's a bit more tired than the Dreamliner, if anything, which is strange because it's a newer plane, I think. So how weird. But anyway, that is the A350, not the A380. They're long gone. The A350 Lou review.
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Alright, dinner time, and say what you will about French food, they know how to do a nice meal here on Air France. I've gone for a starter of shrimp and whatever that is, and of course it wouldn't be French flights if you didn't have la baguette. You can't fly on Air France and not have a baguette, surely. A few shrimps, prawns, whatever we call them these days. No. Alright, so main course, and I've ordered the veal. There we go, that's the veal. That is really nice. Proper nice, wow. As we started our approach into Cairo, they made an announcement that I'd never heard before on a flight. We were warned that laser attacks on aircraft were quite commonplace on planes landing into Cairo, and if we saw any lights shining towards the aircraft, we had to look away and avoid rubbing our eyes and then let the crew know afterwards. It was a little bit concerning, but thankfully tonight we managed to touch down without any undue laser attacks on our plane. My flight tonight cost me $2,059 or around about £1,600 for a one-way flight from Chicago to Paris. This works out to a cost of 34 cents per mile, which is pretty decent for a business class flight. Now I heard some not so great things about getting a visa here at Cairo Airport, with stories of hours-long waits to get your visa, but I was pleasantly surprised that the hotel I was staying at the airport had arranged all of this for me, and I was simply escorted right past all the lines, through the diplomatic lane and out to the hotel.
No baggage, yes?
No baggage, no.
Yeah,
just
can I
this.
help you,
Yeah, yeah, go on then. Thank you.
I bring this visa before the flight because this queue is very crowded.
Ah,
you can
fantastic.
take
Oh, I
30
appreciate
minutes.
it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah, this service is complimentary for me.
Oh, that was lovely, well thank you. He even whisked me straight past the customs checks as I exited the airport. Amazing, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening, thank you for that. Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, have a good night.
Thank you, yeah, you too. All right. All right, welcome to the Le Méridien Hotel in Cairo. Mammoth journey there with Air France from Chicago all the way across here to Cairo. There's my view. Beautiful view. We've got the swimming pool area down there, and there's the airport. There's a big spinny radar dishy thing there. That was a good tip, wasn't it, to know that getting your visa sorted here. I was kind of expecting the worst here in Cairo because I've heard so many stories about how bad it is getting your visa here. And when you book this hotel and request a driver, they sort all that out for you. Literally skip all the queues straight through immigration, here to the hotel. Pretty flipping good. 25 minutes after getting off the plane, I'm here in my room. You can't really beat that, especially for an arrival into Cairo. But anyway, we've got one night here. Tomorrow, off on another adventure. So make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss next week's video where I head off somewhere else really, really cool. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.